Alright guys, welcome back to the video series. Of course, this is our 9.0.1 tier list video to the best of our ability, ranking the characters in the game. And now we're going to get into our true mid-tier. These are the middle of the line, average Joe characters that definitely can do well in the right hands, can definitely win tournaments, balanced properly, but by no means trash or by no means top tier. They're right in the middle of the pack. Great characters for anyone to use, I think, and by no means should you feel overly limited by them. So here we go. The only thing scarier than being a coward is being a lying coward. Subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for? In true mid, we have Donkey Kong. So Donkey Kong, he's got some really good options in general. He has some really good gimps he can do. One of the players that has really like highlighted the current DK meta to me in the Wi-Fi era is Chunky Kong. And Chunky, what he does really, really well is he'll be a pressure and he'll be intimidating you no matter how far away he is from you. DK has a really good dash attack that could sort of get into your face. DK has really good options in the air because he can spike you with down B, which leads into like an up smash or a grab or a tech chase or whatever you want. And also off the stage, he has an incredibly good back air that can be used for kill or for neutral, for pressure in general. He has like the ding dong cargo up throw up air, which can kill you pretty early. He has a really strong set of smash attacks, and cargo punch after you line it up has incredible armor and priority, such that you can use it almost as a counter. In other words, if you see someone about to use their strong move, just cargo punch them in their face and DK will tank it right through and you'll get a kill at a disgustingly low percent. He's not a bad character, and recovery isn't too bad either. It lacks a little bit from the vertical height, but you know, it also goes pretty far horizontally, and you can start it from pretty, you know, you can sort of mix up which way you float with it. He's not bad, but honestly, I feel like Bowser does everything he does, but better. So meta-wise, like, I don't think he's as good as he could be. And we've seen a lot more success in the meta with Bowser, players like Leon doing that. And I think DK overall, like, he has all the potential tools to really be a threat. But when you compare him to like Smash 4, you can see that Nintendo definitely toned him down to not be this like massively intimidating presence. Like, I feel like DK was that like deadly, super deadly heavy in Smash 4 that could just like counter any character when played efficiently well. But in this game, because he has to work a little harder, it makes him more open. He's already a big target as is. So for DK, to me, he's true mid, but definitely by no means a bad character at all. And in true mid, I'm going to put also Mii Brawler. There's been a lot of hype with Mii Brawler recently on social media. People have been like sort of showing he's a sleeper pick, but also a character to look out for. I mean, of course, like, he has a bunch of skins which are funny to use in general. He does have some results throughout the lifetime of Ultimate so far, which is one thing to consider. I will say I'm not gonna like go overly deep into Mii Brawler, but frame data is pretty good. He packs a huge punch, like both literally and metaphorically. Recovery can be a little bit lackluster, but actually hard to punish too. He's sort of hard to predict, especially with like the flip kicks that he has. He also has that little bowling ball, I don't know what's it called, the steel ball that he throws around, which can be kind of annoying. He can kill you pretty early with like his up smash. So he's his power alone puts him, and I think sets him apart from the other Mii characters. And I've seen what he can do. It's kind of like a diet. Now I'm gonna say like Mario. It's kind of like Diet Mario, right? Sort of like you can use that Nair. All his moves are really quick. You can sort of be a scrapper and go around. You can like dash around and sort of use platforms to utilize yourself. To me, he's actually a pretty good beginner character too. He's a good character to teach you like the nuances of Ultimate. So I could see someone going really far with this character. But again, with him, it's all about landing those really big, strong hits, not getting intimidated by your opponents, and also cleverly using the moves that you can't really tell where he's going, so it's like that flip kick, to push him to the full potential. In mid-tier, we also have Duck Hunt. If you ever doubted Duck Hunt at all, if you ever thought Duck Hunt wasn't a viable character, I commend you. I strongly recommend just watch Richter play from Japan. He has shown so many times, also in Smash 4, but again in Ultimate, how good this character can be. If you wanted an annoying zoner and Mii Gunner didn't do it for you in lower mid tier, and you want an annoying zoner in mid tier, this is the character you want. Duck Hunt is like Diet Snake. I would say Snake is probably the best form of this character, best style of this character, but I think Duck Hunt trades kill power for more camping. which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it might fit some playstyles better, but on paper and in practice, it isn't the best that it could be. Duck Hunt really could have benefited more from that kill power, but the fact that you can put down the clay disc, the fact that you put down that, you know, the down B delayed bullets, the fact that you can use that can, that oppressive can, if you're good at sort of seeing two, if you're good at controlling two aspects of ultimate at once, controlling the can and controlling your character, if you master that, it is such a good move. Such a good move. Not just on the offense and neutral, but even as a defensive tool when you're recovering. The character has a really high up B recovery move, forward smashes that kill early, down smash that comes out pretty quickly, and it's all about using those projectiles to your full advantage. The character is pretty light, but also kind of quick on its feet, so don't sleep on this character. Do not sleep on it, and you're gonna see, I have no doubt in my mind that Raito potentially knew other Duck Hunt players, because it's one of the least seen and least used characters in the entire game. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I'm not going to say like matchup unfamiliarity is a reason to put a character where they're on the tier list, which I'm not doing, but the meta still has a lot more to go with Duck Hunt, and I can actually see this character doing pretty well. But yeah, holding it middle tier just needs more kill power, I feel, and you got to be good at camping. You got to be willing to camp and deal with it, and you got to be really good at mixing recoveries, I feel. All right, so you want to know where we're putting Ices? Ices are like one of the most like contested characters as to where the hell they could be. Are they secretly a top tier no one knows about? Is there some secret genie player who is figuring out every single infinite and every single decent they possibly can? Is this character actually crappy and we're giving it way too much credit? Is all the above true? Maybe. And all that comes together for us to consider Ice Climbers, in my opinion, a very solid mid tier. The potential of this character is incredible. It's the only character apart from Steve that I would say there is simply so much to explore. If you really were crazy enough and you labbed it out, there's simply so many things this character could potentially do, but in practice, one missed input, one slipped finger, one ever so slightly mispressed button kind of ruins the potential of the whole character. Like if you're gonna play it like that and look for these incredible chains, like you need to just be like really good. You need to put a lot of time to this character to make it work. But even if you're not someone who's gonna like learn all the desyncs, all the potential pseudo infinites and all that, even if you don't do that, the character as a whole isn't bad by any means. Really good smash attacks, a really freaking good up air. When Nana's around, it becomes a powerhouse character. It's like two little baby Ganondorfs flying around. You have a projectile, you have a really good up B that recently got buffed and snaps to ledge. You can save Nana pretty easily with Popo. You can use side B as a recovery tool. You can do a lot of damage on shield. You can use Blizzard desyncs to make it even more difficult. A lot of the classic desyncs are still in the game, but a lot of people are, I guess, hesitant to use Ice Climbers because once you do separate them, Popo's not good in this game. There was buffs though recently, and the recent buffs are why also for a reason we did put Ice Climbers in middle tier. Especially the Nana's AI changes. I think we need to see some more real world applications to see how Nana's AI could change in terms of like maybe when Popo's shield breaks, Nana will do this incredible grab combo from a CPU, or you can do more with the character. But we need to see more real world practices. But in good faith, I cannot put Ice Climbers any lower than mid tier, but I also can't put this character any higher until we see more. This next one is one I've been really itching to talk about because like this character's meta has advanced so much, and the buffs have truly and evidently helped this character shine. That's King K. Rool. So I'll put King K. Rool in middle tier because he has to play different compared to the traditional zoner with like walls from projectiles. You have to really know how to use blunderbuss. You have to really know how to use the crown. But the fact that they buffed the crown throw, the fact that you can tank more hits on crown throw means it's an extra recovery tool. And blunderbuss, the fact that it comes out quicker than it already does, this is a huge hitbox move. This is a huge like tool to get people as well. You can also drop through platforms with it. You can do a lot of mixes with it. You can just have a slow moving blunderbuss cannonball and mix it in with your own pressure. And given the fact that K. Rool kills pretty damn early because of just how strong he is, it's incredibly scary. If you don't believe me, really, go on Elite right now if you've never played K. Rool. open the game up. If you're especially on a front battlefield, just open the game up with a crown throw into a blunderbuss, into a crown throw, into a blunderbuss, into an aerial. I guarantee you one of those 4 is going to hit, and your opponent's going to be off the ledge before you know it. Like, it's just one of those, I wouldn't say mashy characters, but like, those are really good moves now. Whereas Bowser and DK are heavies that play with strength and pressure, K. Rool opts for a bit more of a gimmick approach. One of the players I really want to highlight that you should watch that has pushed K. Rool to the absolute meta, his name is Kirby Kid, and I believe the K. Rool Discord considers Kirby Kid to be the best K. Rool player currently, either on the Wi-Fi or in the world. What he's managed to do with this character is just so incredible, because with crown throw, when the crown comes back, it pops up the character, and you can do an up smash or upper out of it if you can react fast enough, or even a forward air. And when you hit, you know, your opponent with K. Rool's up air or forward air, like, those kill super early, especially his up air. He has one of dead ass like the strongest up airs in the entire game. His grab range is really, really good. His up throw is 20%. His back throw is a kill move. His forward throw is a kill move, I'm pretty sure. And his down throw grounds, you know. And when you have grounding, if you're smart enough, you can either ground into an up tilt, a forward tilt. You can ground into a forward air if you're smart. Ground into an up smash that I've seen. You gotta be really quick on your feet. You gotta have really good reaction time. But when you do, man, this character pays off dividends. And he's really fun too. Now, all right, 8-Spock, I said all these good things about K. Rool. What's with him? He gets beat up bad. I mean, bad. By frame data and grabs. Any character that can grab him easily, it's tough. And yeah, you can recover from pretty far away with the up B, but the up B, his top is like really hard to hit, almost impossible, but his sides are both just super open at all points. So if you know how to rush him down, if you know how to be oppressive with the character, or if you know, play Palutena, yeah, it's gonna be pretty damn hard to deal with. And if you're a K. Rool player, I don't gotta mention, this is probably just a repeated story for you at this point. It's tough. So K. Rool used to be a low tier, solid middle tier now. Kirby. So I'm happy to announce that I've put Kirby now in middle tier. You might have heard recently that there was a Kirby or two actually winning tournaments in Japan, and I've been saying this for a while, but this character is probably the most underrated. When people put in Kirby like in bottom tier, even when the game first came out, I was just like, I don't think that's the case at all. And even with buffs now, especially with buffs, like, this is a viable ass character. One player that I really think you should look out for is Jeja. He's actually, I think he's won Xanadu online tournaments, but he really shows you that Kirby might not have the fastest speed in general, especially airspeed. That's the biggest downfall that Kirby has. But back air, so strong, comes out so quick. Up air, also quick, strong, does shield damage. Running up tilt with Kirby leads into so many combos, has really good bread and butter combos off of throws. Like, if you're Kirby and you grab your opponent at 0 and do a forward throw, you can lead it into a lot of really interesting chains that can sometimes do upwards to 40, maybe even 50%. Dash that got massive buffs, Nair got massive buffs, up smash and forward smash come out really quickly and they kill pretty early. Kirby's like a little demon right now, kind of a little force to be reckoned with. By no means a high tier character, but you really need to see what this character can do now. Also, up B spam, which is what I used to do way back in the day with my yellow Kirby, I call it Diet Puff. Still a viable tool. It's still a viable tool to get in people's heads. It's really hard to punish. You can do rock from a pretty big height and come down. You can snap to ledge pretty well. You can use, jump and delay your jumps and then up B to snap to ledge. Does pretty well. And that's not even to mention all the meta that's potentially undiscovered with Inhale. Every matchup has a unique Inhale property, right? Even we saw with Steve now, when Kirby inhales Steve, yeah, he becomes this adorable cube. But you can also place blocks now. And so just thinking about Kirby's buffs and better frame data in general, mixed together with what a potential good inhale could give you, makes his character a force to be reckoned with. What are the downfalls and what keeps Kirby in middle tier from high tier? Character is light as hell. Character is slow as hell. Horizontal movement could be a lot better. Recovery is very gimbal. It really takes just one read. If you use rock and you happen to miss it, like, congratulations, you get punished by whatever move in the game your opponent chooses, and you can die really early from up smash. The weight is a big factor here. With Kirby and Puff, like, there are a lot of comparisons, obviously. They're both pink puff balls, but they play so differently. And I think Kirby really likes dominating the ground and using quick, frame data, like good up tilt, good down tilt, using drills off the ledge to gimp your opponents to make sure they don't come back, footstools, using all those in application make Kirby pretty scary. But the character still by no means will be high tier. I don't think we'll ever see this character in high tier, but this is now a mid tier character. Like, do not hesitate to play Kirby. Explore the character, and you'll see like just how much better he's gotten. All right, Marth. Marth is in middle tier because Lucina exists. Right. Okay. Moving on. Meta Knight. I think Meta Knight is like, imagine the package of Smash 4 Meta Knight, but with inconsistency in his combos. Like, when you play Meta Knight in Ultimate, you have to sort of, you know, come in terms of the fact that things just won't connect all the time. It won't always happen the way it used to. And the issue with that is that when you do land those combos, those like up air, shuttle loop chains, it's like devastating. You can kill your opponent so early, especially on stages with platforms and small ceilings. Like, it's really damn scary. I've been 0 to death a number of times by these players. But one of the big issues, I think Urameshi is a really good, and Oatmeal are two really good Meta Knights. I think Oatmeal has been more active recently. That show the current meta of where he's at. But the problem with Meta Knight is this: can you really afford inconsistency when you're that light? When you can get hit by a perfectly spaced forward smash at 70 and die? I would say no. You're talking about a character that once not only was top tier, but ran a game. Meta Knight ran Brawl, right? And it really is sobering to compare what so much that has changed from Meta Knight to Brawl until now. Like, obviously Smash 4 Meta Knight is a lot more similar, but even in Smash 4, Meta Knight was doing some crazy stuff. MKLeo's Meta Knight in Smash 4 was honestly disgusting, and the character could win national tournaments. In this Ultimate, I think he can also, but the inconsistency holds him back. But at least he's very fast and has some good strengths in his movesets, has good frame data, great dash attack, good grab combos, good mixes on recovery, a lot of recovery options. He has all those going for him. So he can do it, just need to be hella careful and accept inconsistency as it comes. So maybe a little bit of luck is good there too. Middle tier as well, we have Mewtwo. So Mewtwo most famously had some really good buffs in the latest patch, or latest patches, I guess. He can, like, honestly kill surprisingly early. His up air is really good. His tilts are really good. He got a lot stronger, you know. He's extremely floaty, but also extremely lightweight, which hurts him a good bit. However, he can move around pretty nimbly. He can recover from a lot of distances. He can get gimped on recovery, but you can also mix up, because, you know, his up B is kind of ambiguous. You can't really tell where it's going. Nair, there's a lot of pressure on shield. Shadow Ball is a great tool, projectile in general. You can use it also to intimidate people. Up smash out of shield is a great option. Down smash, really strong. He has 2 kill throws, up throw and back throw, which makes a lot of characters afraid to fight him head on and close. He has Nair shield, which is a good option. Fair, which can kill kind of early. But the problem with Mewtwo is his tail. Nintendo still hasn't fixed his tail. That, as long as that tail remains unfixed, as long as that tail just remains there, it's like a punching bag, right? Funny that the tool that makes him strong and the tail that makes his tilt so good is also his biggest downfall. I guess that was part of the balance of the character, but like, if they fix his tail and they made his tail not such a constant problem in terms of getting pressured, in terms of getting hit, in terms of that always being there, in terms of the tail being inconsistent sometimes, if they fixed all that, you can see this character in high tier. Like, think Smash 4 Mewtwo. So Toon Link. Toon Link could be higher, right? You'll notice that this is the Toon Link is the only Link I have actually in true mid tier. He could be higher, but in a similar idea to DK and Bowser, he kind of feels like a simulation of Young Link. It's like Young Link, but you took away a lot of his good stuff and his speed. Can be super oppressive with projectiles. The up air lasts so long. You have a down air that spikes that you straight down, also spikes on the ledge, especially with lip stages. You got arrows that are floaters. You got really good boomerang, really good floating bombs. Recovery with bombs, you can recover from really far away. Small, hard to hit, nimble on the ground too, but very lightweight. His weaknesses come out pretty strong when you realize the pattern of his projectiles. If you're gonna play Toon Link, you have to be a projectile like wizard. You have to constantly be throwing them out, because I don't think he can do it without him. Up B out of shows is usually a pretty good tool as well. if you want to get like an early kill or early way to get someone out of your face. The grab leaves things to be lacking, but you know, of course, you can go to the ledge with grab. And that's always a good tool. You can snap the ledge pretty easily. And again, if you know how to place your projectiles and you know how to time them well and do good enough mix-ups, you can definitely not only win, you can tilt the hell out of some people easily, you know? But be wary that your character can die pretty damn early, and be wary that it really just takes one good read to mess up your entire tempo. Also in mid tier, we have Villager. For Villager, I would say he was just as much of a gimmick as he was in Smash 4, but now the entire cast is significantly stronger, and the entire cast also has way more approach options, and because of that, Villager just doesn't stand out to me the way he used to. What does he got going for him? Really strong bowling ball, proper usage of tree can be really oppressive and catch people off guard, great recovery, super long range aerials, turnips are good, especially if there's 3 of them. You know, Lloyd Rocket along with aerials can be really, really good neutral tools just to bleed out your opponent. Can be very tilt inducing as well, but he's lightweight. He can be gimped very, very easily. You can rush him down if you're not careful. He's got a really good nair out of shield. You know, in general, when you use axe with tree, yeah, you can get early kills and gimps if you're smart and know what you're doing. Fireworks out of shield are a great, you know, anti-pressure tool, or a great way to finish a game. You can sort of do a, you know, jab down B with axe is also good. You got to use projectiles in a smart way, but when the character does approach you and gets in your face, which they inevitably will, you have to be able to really understand what options you do and don't have. And we forget that Villager has Pocket, and Pocket is very powerful. You got to use your opponent's projectiles against them. You know, you got to use them as well as you can in conjunction with what you already have, right? Especially, and you can use bowling balls off ledges and platforms. You can use dash attacks off platforms. You want to give his projectiles as much breathing room and as much space and as much distance as you can possibly send them. All right, so don't be afraid to camp with this character, because you're gonna need it. You need to camp with Villager. He's not fast enough to brawl on with the people who have way better frame data with him, right? So for that reason, he stands in middle tier. Zelda, and in the era of Wi-Fi, I'm sure you've seen this name quite a few times. In mid tier, I would put Zelda. Zelda has like insane power, and that gives her a lot. That alone makes it so she has a lot going for her. But you can notice patterns on her specials, and if you just quickly pick up on those patterns, it leaves her with a lot of blind spots that approaching players can abuse, right? Well, the most common move I think that we've seen online is you know, Phantom Knight. Using that with a delay is a really, really good tactic, as we've seen. But I think even regardless if it was on Wi-Fi or IRL, Phantom Knight, using that as pressure tool, and then a good Zelda reading where you're going to jump, where you're going to air dodge as a result of it, is where the meta is for the character. Combine that with the fact that her up B can kill you really, really early if she just up Bs into you as a KO tool from a distance, makes it really, really sneaky. Her neutral B gets her out of so many situations, but also opens you up. Her up air, super strong. Both of her airs, ridiculously strong, so you can die early from those as well too. She struggles from speed, obviously. Like speed is the factor that keeps her from not being as great as she could be. But the fact that up B comes out fairly quick means she can recover from a lot of places as well. But in general, if you fight Zelda, the Zelda's going to do one thing very, very well, and every Zelda's going to do it properly, but they can't really do much else apart from that. And if they are, they're taking huge risks. So, for that reason, Zelda mid-tier. Banjo and Kazooie. Fuck this character. Mid-tier. And finally, in mid-tier, we have Simon and Richter. Simon and Richter, you know, these characters kind of floated between mid and mid-low for a good while. But I think the patches that they did have, and they had a lot of patches, kind of solidified them in mid-tier. If you played against Simon and Richter, you know, I don't think I need to explain too much about it, but it's generally this. They're going to throw a lot of furniture at you. They're going to say, take this, and sometimes you really do take that. They're going to use as much holy water or fire as they can to pressure your shield. They're going to use their long-range aerials over and over and over on your shield or on your person or in the air to try to press you and get away. They're going to be throwing axes when you try to recover. They're going to be throwing cross if they try to stay at a distance. And if you try to get in their face, they can either up B out of shield, they can nair out of shield, They can use sort of a down B tool, or the dash attack they have, or that down tilt tool, to get out of something weird. They can also down air into your shield and try to bounce off you. They're a character that can be annoying in person, but super annoying from a distance. There is a pattern with them as well, and once you notice that, you can kind of get in, especially if you grab them. Their biggest weakness is their recovery. If you read a Simon and Richter and throw them off the ledge, they're kind of forced to recover horizontally. They're either going to use the grapple to go to the ledge and air dodge and up B back up to the top. But once they're out there, especially if you just command your presence there and sort of show your face there, they're going to panic or air dodge or do something that you don't really expect. And then you just take advantage of that, right? And their up B grapple isn't nearly as long as like someone like, say, Byleth's. So you can take heavy advantage of that. So that's always a weakness I think it's going to keep them in mid tier. And when the character first came out, everyone was just like super frustrated at what they were like. But in general now, I think I could see them staying in mid tier because of the buffs. And buffs are always good. And, I don't think anyone's going to contest that right now. And maybe the top Simon Richter players will push them to the further limit. But with more players pushing them because of buffs means more time for other players to understand and take advantage of their weaknesses. So, mid tier characters. This has been the mid tier portion of our 9.01 tier list. When we come back, we're going to discuss the upper mid tier and our high tier. We're going to discuss the characters that really pose a threat in the current meta and how they got there thanks to the buffs and avoiding nerfs, more importantly. So let me know which character in the mid tier you think is the most overrated, most underrated, which character you think might get buffed or nerfed next. And if you're a mid tier main, tell us why you use them. So I will, I'll see you next time.